Folks, we certainly don't want you to stop eating your food, especially that delicious cobbler. Maybe some of you ate that first. I like sometimes too. Anyway, I think we'll move on now to class presentations from our teachers. And our first three teachers will be our Monday teachers, the Turney, Leonard and Judith Turney, followed by Linda Knight, and then Ernest Instruck. No, he's Tuesday. Monday is Bruce. Sorry, I've just been sitting here visiting with him. You think I can keep myself straight. Some teachers will present live. We have videos for those who would rather use the video. So we just said it's your choice. So if you choose to present your intro live, just come up. If you don't come up, we'll just go with the video, the recorded video. So let's start with the Turney and move from there.
Why is this so low?
It's easier to just take it out.
Good morning. I was going to, my wife's not here today. She's not feeling well. She sent me as a representative of the family. And I'm delighted to have this opportunity to share with you our class and also set the record straight while my wife is not there. Any stories that have been shared with our class with regard to our married life, my version was the correct version. But I beg you not to tell her that I said that. We are teaching a course called the Fine Art of Rivalry. We chose a title that would be completely inexplicable to any normal person. So let me see if I can do a better job. We all know what rivalry is. Most of us have experienced that in our own lives. We've either been involved in a rivalry or we have observed it at a distance. It's also often been a subject of fine art, particularly literature. And there are some rivalries that are iconic rivalries in the sense that you have heard about them even if you don't know exactly what the fuss was about. Almost everybody has heard of the rivalry between the Hatfields and the McCoys, but almost nobody knows, including the Hatfields, and the McCoys, what really started it all. That's an example of an iconic rivalry, and we're not going to be doing that one. An example came to my mind. We'll be looking at a number of rivalries on Monday. This coming Monday, for example, we'll be looking at the rivalry between Queen Elizabeth I and her cousin, Mary Queen of Scots. This is a famous rivalry that has often been represented on the stage and screen and books. It's a rare year in which somebody doesn't come out with a biography of Mary Queen of Scots, whose life was dramatic and interesting. And we'll be doing other rivalries as well. Our intent is to understand the nature of rivalry and why, for example, it is so fascinating to us to watch individuals and persons, groups, engage in an activity that sometimes becomes an absolute obsession. So that's what we'll be doing in our class on Monday mornings at 10 o'clock to 11:30. And we hope that many of you, if not all of you, at least on one of those classes, can join us, or you will hear my wife's side of the story. But remember what I said.
have another short one. I am here to invite you to Monday at 1 o'clock to World War II Secrets, Surprises, and Spies. So, I told you at the beginning of last semester that if you listen to Archie Bunker, he would talk about WW2, the big one. And it's big enough that we need 2 semesters to finish the big story. So, in the coming weeks, I'll tell you what is coming up. We already had one lesson on Monday, by the way, and so we have 9 more to go. In the coming weeks, we're going to go to French Northern Africa. We're going to go to Sicily. We will go to D-Day, the Battle of the Bulge, and to the Pacific for Iwo Jima and Okinawa. Does that sound fun to go to all those fun places? And the people that we're going to meet, among them will be George Patton. We will meet Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox. We're going to meet Bernard Montgomery from England, and we will meet General Dwight Eisenhower, who was the Supreme Commander. So you're going to see all those people in the next few weeks. We're also going to take a look at art theft. I'm really interested in art, and I like the stories about how in World War II art was stolen off the walls of the museums. And I'm going to tell you some things about that. I'm also going to show you some things about the Holocaust. So you will see that. I'm not taking you to concentration camps, so I'm taking you to interesting people and memorials that you may or may not have been to, but I will show those to you. And then, of course, I'll show you how the war ends. And I have promised surprises, and I have a surprise guest coming the last week, but because it's a surprise, I'm not going to tell you who it is or what the reason is that that guest will be there, but you're going to be glad that you heard what this guest has to tell you. So, I hope this sounds fun and like something you would like to learn more about, and I hope you will come on Monday at 1 o'clock. See you then.
So I'm going to start by telling you how I resemble Goldilocks. Not too high, not too low, just right. I hope. That was supposed to be a joke. All right. My class is titled Great Songs of the 1960s and 1970s. We meet Mondays at 2:15 in the afternoon. And so we've already had one class this week, and I had a lot of fun with that class. And I thought it got us off to a great start. But we have much more to do, and so I hope that some of you will, you're certainly all invited to join us on the journey of this class. Now, why 1960s and 1970s? That's easy. That was clearly the greatest period of popular music. So in reality, it's one that many of us here grew up with. So I taught a similar class a year ago, but this one is different in a couple of ways. One is that we'll do fewer songs, but we'll go into more depth with each of them. And we're going to focus a lot on the lyrics and on the meaning of the lyrics. For one thing, you'll find out finally what those lyrics actually were for those songs that you listen to. That may be disappointing in some cases, but in some cases it will actually be inspiring and informative. So we will also, though, look at the musical aspects of the songs, including all kinds of things, but among other things, the influence of traditional hymns and classical music on some of the songs, including Bach having a very specific influence on some of the songs. For the most part, though, we're just going to have a lot of fun. We'll look at artists from the 60s like the Beatles, Byrds, Simon and Garfunkel, Beach Boys, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, and many others from the 70s. Elton John, Eric Clapton, Cat Stevens, Carole King. We actually listened to one of hers on Monday. and others. And I'll work in Neil Diamond at least a little bit. There was a wonderful class this morning on Neil Diamond. If you didn't go, you should look at the recording. It was really good. But we at least will look at one song that he wrote called "I'm a Believer," but performed by the Monkees. You'll hear some familiar songs like "Yesterday" or "God Only Knows," but also some less familiar ones. There's really a haunting one by The Who called "Behind Blue Eyes." And there's just a wonderful song by the Moody Blues called "I Know You're Out There Somewhere," that I think has just some profound levels of meaning to it. I think you'll be impressed by the quality of many of these songs, both the words and the music. Much that you'll find that is, I think, mind-expanding and spirit-lifting. Some profound looks at human experience, human emotions, human relationships, and then just the joy of singing along with these songs and having some fun together. So I hope you'll join me with great songs of the 1960s and 1970s.
They're all on Monday teachers, and if you miss out on their classes, you will really be missing out because they are excellent, and not only do they provide great subject matter, but they have humor and fun, and it's just a pleasure to be with them on Monday. Now we're going to move on to Tuesday with Martin Pond. Some may think that Martin only appealed to classical movie lovers. Let me tell you, that's not so. He makes all music live, and to be in his class is amazing. And then we will be on Tuesday, our next presenter is Linda Tyler, and she is doing the history of grief. And I've got Tuesday straight now. Our last Tuesday teacher is Ernest Itstook. He has taught for us before, but not for 2 or 3 years. Pleasure to have him back. So let's go ahead with those teachers.
Where is the sound? I'm pausing at, I didn't get a chance to test this before.
I tested me before. I'm not sure I work either. Did want to mention the first course we heard about today intrigues me because I taught a class for BYU Idaho for a while called Propaganda and the Fine Arts in the 20th Century. So I'm sure there are some connections. Should I continue, Gerhard?
Keep going.
All right. The last couple of semesters, we've dealt with topics pertaining to fine art music that have been based on themes. So I pick a theme and we listen to music by all sorts of different artists and composers. This semester, I've decided instead to each week focus on music of one composer in each class. Yesterday, we had the joy of discussing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to call this, or at least give a theme for this course this semester, that you can tell a lot about a person by knowing who their friends are. And the object of my course is to have all of us be friends with some of these great musical minds from all time. And so Aaron Copland this week, next week we'll be looking at Igor Stravinsky, the following week we'll be looking at Richard Strauss. And the entire semester should be a joy looking at these individual composers. I promised the students who've talked to me that there will be at least 1 week where we'll look at my favorite composer, and that's me. So we'll be looking at, we've done this in past semesters, little touches of that, but we'll spend some time with some of the works that I've been responsible for recording or writing. And we had a great time yesterday, and so I would invite all of you to be with us for some more great times and making friends with people you may not have expected to be friends with.
Good.
Tuesday morning, 10.
I'm not getting the sound.
But you're getting these gorgeous photos. Okay. Gerhard, thank you.
Yeah. Means I don't have your sound either.
That's good. Hi, I'm teaching ancient Greek civilization at 1 o'clock on Tuesdays. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. If you go back 2,000 years, we've got the city-states of Athens and Sparta, and those folks laid the basis for a lot of the culture that we admire and want to have in our culture today. Things like democracy, the philosophy, lyric poems, epic poems, science, law, all kinds of things that we admire today are based in that 2,000-year-old culture that developed in Greece. So I thought to myself, I wonder what those folks are like. I wonder what it was in their lives that made their life rich and things that lasted and that we're still looking at today. So what we'll do is probably start in the 14th century BCE with the Bronze Age and look at look at Homer, look at Shulman and the exciting excavations of Troy and Mycenae. And we'll go right down, I hope we'll get this far, through the Classic Age to Philip of Macedonia and his son, Alexander. And from this, what we'll do is use some literature, talk about art, and the things that I've done this have been very exciting to me. And so I invite you to come along with me as we talk about these things Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Gerhard, if you have it tuned up, if you wanted to go ahead and play the video first and then add to it, or I'll just do it.
I'm not getting the sound.
That's fine. I can make sound.
Who got the sound?
Hi, I'm Ernest Hughes Took, and Tuesdays at 2:15, we are taking a look at the American Revolution. Notice I did not say the Revolutionary War, because yes, the war was part of the revolution, but it was not the entirety of the revolution. We had our first class yesterday, and there's so much that we know and so much that we do not know about the American Revolution. For those who were not there yesterday, let me tell you some things that were shared that are not necessarily common knowledge. One of the great reasons for the success of the American Revolution is that at that time, literacy among the 3 million people who were in the 13 colonies was as high as 95%. It may not have been that high. That's one of the estimates. But the point is, it was extremely high. So the people were able to actually think about the ideas that were underlying everything. This was a unique factor in the American Revolution that made all the difference. Another thing that we talked about yesterday was that the origin of the idea of union among the colonies did not start in 1776 with the Declaration of Independence. It did not start in the prior couple of years with the Continental Congress. But do you know when the first proposal from a gathering of states was made to organize together in at least a confederacy to be united? What year was that? It was a plan that was adopted by what is known as the Albany Congress in 1754. On the 10th of July in 1754, it was adopted by 7 of the colonies, but then the Congress's plan that they put forth was not adopted by the individual colonies, and it did not go anyplace at the time. It took another 22 years. So that was something that most people are not aware about regarding the American Revolution, that the seeds were older than some people thought. It was even before the oppressive behavior of Great Britain toward the American colonists. And you know, I'm having a mental block right now. Maybe it's a senior moment. I'm trying to remember one of the other things that we shared yesterday that most people are not aware of. The Iroquois Confederacy, which was the origin of the concept of the Albany Congress. The Iroquois, which is a collective name for multiple tribes that were basically in the vicinity of what is known as upstate New York. So these are things that people don't ordinarily know about the American Revolution. I can tell you, there's more surprises coming up, as well as a lot of familiar things. I mean, if nothing else, do you know that even before Alice had one with the Mad Hatter, even before that Tea Party, there was another one that was held in Boston, Massachusetts. Did you know that? Long before Lewis Carroll ever wrote about a mad Tea Party, colonial Americans were living it. So if you want to join Tuesday afternoons at 2:15, I can tell you this is not the story of making America great again. This is the story of making America great originally. Hope you'll join us.
I am truly dumbfounded when I think about the expertise and the experience that we have gathered together in 10 Elder Quest teachers. As you can see, Monday and Tuesday are going to be delicious. And we invite you to join with us. And now we're going to hear from the Ruths. If you don't get your video going, you're going to have to come and speak. You're already on. So,
Yeah.
Flexibility is our day.
You got it or not?
It's running, but it's no sound. So let's go up together.
Either.
We do pray that things will work with technology, but it was not in the cards. So, in the video that we made, the beginning is Jimmy Stewart doing a recruitment video for the Air Force. And the second one is Henry Henry Fonda, and it's a clip from Grapes of Wrath, and he says, "You'll see me in, and you'll see me in, and you'll see me in." The third one was about a dead man, and the clip starts out, "What we need is a dead man," and the end of the clip is someone dragging the dead man out of the water, and this dead man changed the course of the war.
By the way, if you haven't watched the video on the YouTube channel that we have, those clips are fun. The clips that Martin Pond added with background music for what he was saying was also masterful. So you'll want to go watch some of those. The links to that are in the past newsletter that you got. Weekly update. It's from Margene.
And I want to add, we've given our class members the schedule for the year. We did pass one out at the end of fall. We've made one change. The third class was going to be Unbroken, and it's a bit grim. That's going to be Friday's movie, and it is a bit grim. We've replaced it with something much more cheerful. Hank and Jimmy. The 50-year friendship with Henry Fonda and Jimmy Stewart. It's going to be a fun one. And class schedules are out at the back.
Yeah, there are a bunch of these out and back. If you haven't gotten one already, they're on the table as you go out.
They're the books that we are using in the background for our material.
Let me mention one couple of those. There's the story of a young lady who ended up adopting 13 children overseas.
And she's single.
The Orphan Keeper is another one. Some of you have read that book. It's about a child who was sent out for adoption. He was kidnapped and adopted out. And his journey in going back and finding his parentage in India.
And he was also a UVU student. I think I'm talking.
Thank you.
I think it takes the longest today. Just me getting up to the microphone, but I appreciate your patience for this fun things I think will improve as we go along. Anyway, along with the Ruth class on Wednesdays, we do the monthly lunch and we do potpourris. Our first potpourri will be next Wednesday, and Julie Bennett has planned all the potpourris for this semester. Julie, did you want to say something?
We just have the bios of all the speakers that are coming up the back.
Okay. Bios of all the speakers Julie has available there at the back. Pick one up as you leave. And this takes us to the last day of our classes, Thursday. And we start off with Brad Dobb. I love Brad's class because he doesn't care if I disagree. And most of the time I don't. So Brad is our first Thursday person. Our second Thursday person at 1 o'clock is Alan Keel. Alan is not able to be here with us today. So maybe we'll have the video and we don't come on Thursday at 1 o'clock for Alan's class. He is doing the only opera that Mozart,
Beethoven.
Beethoven. Yeah, a little confusion here. The only opera that Beethoven composed. And Alan has a way making his class very exciting. And then our last class on Thursday will be Dave Jonathan and Shakespeare. And I have come to love Shakespeare because of Dave's class. So we'll go with these three vendors, and then we'll be finished. And I'll just say a couple of words and then say goodbye. So let's go.
I want to make it clear, I do care about Margie. And now if Congressman District disagrees with me, that might hurt a little bit. I was sitting at the table today, and one of my friends are at the table asked me, well, "What's your class about?" And I said, "Well, we talk about current events, and we get the news out there from the best sources that I can get that are trying to give accurate news, not spin. And then of course we welcome warmly opinions from the class, and of course input on what events maybe I didn't get to or missed or whatever." And he looked me right in the eye and said, "Well, not much to talk about today, is there?" I'm pretty sure he was kidding. I would tell you what we can talk about tomorrow, but I haven't written it yet because I'll be doing that tonight. We do talk about the most up-to-date events we can. If you can think of what's happened in the state, the country, and around the world, you might think we're going to have a pretty robust discussion tomorrow, and you'll probably be right. Now, and I just want to kind of put this out there as an open invitation. Like I say, I haven't written tomorrow's class yet. I do that the night before so we get the most current events. I will say, for example, I just saw on my phone today that we have a university president who's going to be stepping down. I won't say who. You have to come to class tomorrow to find out. So, but that's part of the news. And so my invitation to you today is, number one, if you have events that you'd like to hear about, if you'll email those to me or text those to me. I think my phone number's up there. No, it's not. My email is braddaw, BRADDAW, @gmail.com. Email me, and if I can, I'll work it into the presentation tomorrow. This is your class. We talk about current events. We discuss those. And our goal for this class, and just kind of in honor to what was mentioned here, our goal for this class is to be Hank and Jimmy. And what I mean by that is Henry Fonda was very known to lean left in his politics. James Stewart was very known to lean right in his politics, and yet they were best friends. And my hope in this class is that we can express our opinion, be comfortable with other people expressing their opinion, and walk away friends, and realize that we probably learned something from each other, and we're all the better for it. So I look forward to those of you who can come tomorrow. We'll have a great discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not, the sound's not working.
Well, it's not going to do any good to get rid of it. Well, Dave, you
I will speak from here. If you'll turn the chatter off, I think you can all hear me. We meet at 2:15 on Thursdays for enjoying Shakespeare. And I'm very serious about that title. I don't want people coming thinking, well, I'm going to be a Shakespeare expert when I'm done, because I'm not a Shakespeare expert. I'm still learning a lot. And there are so many things with Shakespeare that you can enjoy. And that's my whole purpose, which is the reason that I have the students are the ones that are doing the show. It wouldn't be much fun for you to come and have me read it to you, although I might have more fun doing that. We will be doing a Shakespeare play starting tomorrow called Troilus and Cressida. And I can tell from the faces that not many of you have heard of that play. Not many people have, because it's probably Shakespeare's least performed play. But it's an interesting play. It's not necessarily my favorite, but we'll be talking about it and there are good things and bad things in it. And you can think, I'm happy to say that it will dovetail with what Linda Knight is talking about, Greek history and civilization. Linda Tyler, it gets confusing when you have Linda Tyler, Tyler Knight, Linda Tyler. So anyway, come and enjoy. This is Shakespeare's look at the Trojan War, which is very different. Most people think, well, Shakespeare never went to Troy. He never even went to Greece. And how can he be writing about those things? That didn't bother Shakespeare at all. He could tell history from his viewpoint, which he does. For our second play, we will go to another Shakespeare. A newspaper reporter from Denver, Colorado, saw a lady in her neighborhood who had lost a son in the war, who had incredible sadness, and she thought, is there anything that I could write that would make that lady smile and even laugh again? And Harvey was the result. If you've seen Harvey, you have laughed. If you have not seen Harvey, you have probably laughed at the thought of a 6 foot, 1.5 inch tall white rabbit that's invisible to almost everybody except to Elwood P. Dowd. And Elwood P. Dowd has this puka as his best friend, and he's always introducing Harvey to all of his friends, and they can't see the puka at all, which is sad because he would add to their lives just like he added to Elwood P. Dowd's. Terribly funny play. You will come away laughing, I guarantee. So Thursday afternoon, 2:15. If we finish early, we go home early.
Thank you. We appreciate you being with us. And, you know, I love these teachers. Some have been with us for quite a while, others not so long. But I consider all of you teachers to be dear friends. And I admire you. I love your classes. And all of our teachers have unique sense of humor. And let me tell you, we need a bit of that in our life. Well, maybe we need a lot of that in our lives. But if you come to our classes, you will get great instruction from amazingly dedicated, capable teachers. And you'll get a laugh or two along the way. And that's what life's all about. Have a great afternoon, folks. And we'll see you at Elder Quest tomorrow.